This is Mrs. Naslin, and today we're doing Unit 5, Lesson 13, Check Products of Two-Digit Numbers. Our learning targets for today are, I could compare numerical methods of two-digit by two-digit multiplication, and I can estimate products of two-digit numbers. Our vocab is estimate and round. Let's go ahead and get started. Now, we've already talked about estimating and rounding earlier in this chapter, but we're going to continue to talk about it as we look at estimating two-digit by two-digit multiplication. So it asks us to both estimate and then solve our numbers. So first I'm going to go ahead and I can round these numbers, and remember our trick. I look at the digit next to it, and if it's 5 or above, then we round the number up. So 28 is going to become 30. And I'm going to times that by, and I look at this one, I look at the number behind it, and it's below 5, so I'm going to make it 70. So we use our zero trick. You can do this mentally. 3 times 7 is 21, and I have 2 zeros that I can add on, so I end up with 2,100 is my estimated answer. Now let's go ahead and actually solve this. We'll use the turtle head method here. Draw my turtle head. All right. 8 times 4 is 32. I put my 2 here. Stay in the neck. I'm going to carry my 3. And then I'm going to do 4 times 2 is 8, plus 3, 8, 9, 10, 11. And then remember, we cross off the numbers that we've carried. We add our collar so we don't do that 4 again, and we lay an egg or add our 0 down here, the place value holder, and then we go ahead and keep going. 7 times 8 is 56, so we put the 6 in the 10 spot. I'm going to carry the 5 right up here again. This is why we cross off that 3 so we don't get confused. And we'll do 7 times 2, which is 14. And then I'll add on 5, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19. Okay, and then we go ahead and add those. So we end up with 2, 7, 10, 0, carry the 1, 2. So we end up with 2,000 and 72. Let's just go ahead and check, see how we did. Yep. Okay, so our estimate was right on there at 2,100. Our answer is 2,072. All right, so let's go ahead and do this again. We're going to do an estimate and then a solve, and then we'll have you try it. So again, I'm going to first round my number. It's at 84, so it's below 5, so this still stays, this goes down to an 80. And I'm going to times it by, look at the 27, it's above 5, so I'm going to go ahead and round that up to 30. All right, and then we go ahead and we multiply those two. 8 times 3 is 16, so we get 16 and we add our 2 zeros on. We end up with 1,600 is our estimated answer. So now let's go ahead and solve and see what the real answer is. 7 times 4 is 28. Oops, before we do that, we got to draw our turtle head. We don't forget our method here. 28, 8, carry the 2. And we're still staying in the turtleneck. 8 times 7 is 56. 57, 58. We add those 2 in there. And then I'm going to cross off what I carried. I'm going to add my collar and lay an egg, or add my 0 down here. 2 times 4 is 8. And 2 times 8 is 16. And I go ahead and add all that up. We get 8, 16, 6, carry the 1. We get 11, 12, carry the 1, and 2. So my exact answer is 2,268, and my estimated answer was 1,600. So you can see our estimate and our exact are still pretty far away, but it does give you a range that it would be in. All right, so now I'm going to go ahead and have you try. First, I want you to go ahead and try to estimate what this answer would be. So remember, when you go to do your estimating, first you're going to round these numbers, decide if it's above 5 or below 5 on both of these, and then go ahead and solve the estimated answer. All right, so when you looked, you would have found that that's below 5, so we would have done 90 times, and in this case, that 7 was above 5, so I'm going to round that up to 60. And 9 times 6 is 54. I add my 2 zeros on. So we would have got an estimated answer of 5,400. And then I'm going to go ahead and solve. Again, I'll turn my turtle head here, and I'm going to have you go ahead and work on this one on your own. You're going to find the exact answer now. So go ahead and figure that out. All right. 7 times 3 is 21. My 1 here, carry my 2. 9 times 7 is 63, 64, 65. Okay, and I cross off what has been carried. I add my collar. I lay my turtle egg, or put my 0 down here. 5 times 3 is 15. Carry my 1. 9 times 5 is 45, plus 1 is 46. And I go ahead and add all these up. 0 plus 1 is 1. 5 plus 5 is 10. Carry my 1. 6 plus 6 is 12, plus 1 is 13. Carry my 1. So I ended up with the exact answer of 5,301, and my estimated answer was 5,400. So you can see they're pretty close that time. All right, we're going to do one more that you can practice. This time it's a word problem, so I'll help you kind of work through it, and then you can find the estimate and the exact answer for this one. Now, this is multiplication or multiplying money, so there is one little thing that we're going to learn about money as we do this as well. So first, let's read the problem. It says, Kate wants to give her mother a bouquet of 38 helium balloons for her 38th birthday. The cost of an inflated helium balloon is 75 cents. How much would it cost to inflate 38 of them? So remember back when we do word problems, we circle our numbers. We've got 38 helium balloons. They cost 75 cents a piece. And she's going to inflate, and then we underline the question. How much will it cost to inflate 38 of them? Okay. We box any important information, and I think that how much is important, so we're going to box that. How much will it cost? Right? And then we go ahead and try to solve it. So first we're going to estimate it. So with the how much, I know that I'm going to have to multiply, and I'm going to need to multiply this 38 by 75. So first I'm going to round those two numbers. 38, look at the number there, and what would you round that to? Okay, and then you're going to look at 75 and think about, if you look back at this 5, what are you going to round those numbers to? So go ahead and calculate the estimated when you multiply the rounded 38 and 75 together. All right, so when you round 38, you would have rounded it to 40. And when you rounded 75, it's above 5, so you would have rounded it to 80. And I want to point out it's really 80 cents. I'm going to add that decimal there, and we'll explain that, how you would do that in a second. And if you didn't get the decimal when you were doing it, no big deal. But let's go ahead and figure this out. So 8 times 4 is 32. I add on my 2 zeros. Now, when we're talking cents, when we're talking decimals, all we have to do when we multiply a decimal is we just count how many decimal places over it is. It was 2 over, so I'm just going to go 1, 2, and add my decimal place here. So the estimated cost is actually $32. Okay? All right, now let's find the exact cost. Again, this is still a decimal, so I'm just going to put it in there. All we're going to have to do is do the same multiplication we normally do, and then at the end, you're going to move it over those 2 decimal places. So I want you to go ahead and do this one. Use the turtle method. If you get the decimal moved over those 2 places at the end, great. If not, I'll help you do that at the end. So go ahead and multiply these out. All right, 8 times 5 is 40, so we're going to do 0. We're going to carry our 4. 7 times 8 is 56, 57, 58, 59, 60. I add those 4 in. And then I'm going to cross off what I carried. I'm going to add my collar on, lay my egg here. All right, and I can go ahead and do the tens. 3 times 5 is 15, 5. Carry my 1. 3 times 7 is 21, plus that is 22. I'm going to go ahead and add these together. And I end up with 0, 5, 8, and 2. Now, with the decimals, remember what I said, you count how many times over the decimal is. So in this case it was 2. So I'm just going to go over 1, 2, and add my decimal in there. So the exact cost was $28.50. All right, so that concludes how we can use estimates to show and check 2-digit by 2-digit multiplication.